Life was always chaotic. I was never really taking care of myself. I was taking care of everybody else until I was even diagnosed with breast cancer. The whole world came crashing down. Am I going to die?
From a spiritual perspective, the fundamental reason for cancer is unresolved emotions. As you went through the session, the reason you were crying was it was released. Those trapped emotions would come to the surface and get released.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy how this journey brought you in touch with your own higher self.
Yeah.
My psychologist told me that you don't need
Situations don't worry me.
So zero panic attacks. Brilliant.
I'm able to do more.
Phenomenal change in a very short period of time.
I can't just describe it was how good it has been.
Oh, there's a huge difference.
I'm happy I'm feeling better.
Welcome, Maria. Thank you for joining me. Your story is very inspirational. A lot of times people find themselves in major problems in life. At that time, it feels everything is over. How do I get out of this situation? In that circumstance, a story such as yours is very inspirational. It is possible to break free from whatever challenges life has put in front of us. You have turned the biggest problems into your blessings. I would like to ask, how was your life before you got the diagnosis?
Life was always chaotic with children. And I have a mother who was diagnosed at the time just before COVID, a few years before, with Lewy body dementia, which was one of the most devastating diagnoses that we had to encounter and overcome. So I had a lot going on before I was even diagnosed with my breast cancer. I was dealing with children at school and work, and it was just a hectic time. I was never really taking care of myself. I was always taking care of everybody else until finally I was diagnosed with triple positive, an aggressive form of breast cancer. It was called HER2 triple positive breast cancer, which was very aggressive but treatable. Just right after COVID started to stream lower, I decided it's time for me to go for an examination, get my follow-up going and see where everything's going. So I go to the doctor and he asks me about my family history. I told him I had a lot of aunts with breast cancer, cousins, uncles with colon, prostate, and my dad who had passed away from pancreatic cancer. He decided, okay, you know what, Maria, we need to send you. We need to send you for your breast screening because even though in Ontario at the time, it was 50 years of age, I was just shy of that age. So I was 49 years old. And I said, okay, doctor. I said, you know what? Let's do this. So he sent me off. Thank God he did. And long and behold, after a few sessions of getting my screening done, I had to get an MRI. And that's where the tables were turning because at that point I knew something was wrong when he had to send me over to the breast screening clinic and actually do an MRI and a biopsy. We do this just before Christmas of 2022. And I had to keep it together because I didn't want anybody to know at the time. We go in with my husband. I get my breast screening done, my MRIs and my biopsies. I had to wait 3 weeks for that. As we're waiting over the holidays, January comes and hits me, 2023. And that's the day that changed my entire life because I got that call at 4 p.m. and my doctor told me I was diagnosed with triple positive breast cancer. And it was in a very aggressive form. The good news was it was treatable. Now, when you get diagnosed with such a diagnosis of cancer, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Am I going to die? That's what came to mind. My children, my whole family. My mom was sick at the time too, and still is. There was so much going on, and I had this to deal with. When the doctor diagnosed me, it was like my whole world came crashing down. I didn't know where I was at that time. I was like in another world. And the doctor's talking to me, telling me the next steps, and I didn't even know how to react. It came to light at that moment as she's talking to me, and in a split second, I was just in a daze, and I thought to myself, "I'm not doing this. This is not happening. There's no way that I'm leaving my family behind." As soon as we got off the phone with her, I turned to my husband and I said, "There's no way this cancer is going to kill me. I'm going to kill it before it kills me." I said, "And that's a promise." And from that moment, it was the moment when I got that call, I turned it around, called my cousin Louisa, who you know very well, who's a keto coach. He helped me through my eating habits, where I started eating the keto style, getting rid of carbs, sugars. She helped me because I was on chemotherapy in February. In January, I was diagnosed. In February, I had chemo of 2023. Within that month, I had already seen a difference in how I felt through my change of habits of eating and exercise. I was exercising, weight training, eating properly. And then I said, okay, I'm not going to stop here. There's more I need to do. I have a cousin who is very spiritual and does a lot of Reiki. So I called her up and I said, I need your help. She knew about my diagnosis. And I said to her, as frightened as I am, I need some sort of spiritual guidance. I need to be mentally ready for this, because if I'm not ready, I don't know if I'm going to fall apart. I don't know where I'm going to be. So she says to me, Maria, don't worry. I'm going to be here to guide you and help you. And through the Reiki sessions, which is a spiritual healing, and it's great for anxiety, depression, and all of that, she goes, you will see and feel there will be a difference. I said, she goes, are you willing to try the sessions? I says, absolutely. At this point, I'll try anything that will help me. So I started the Reiki sessions more than once, and I noticed the transformation. I noticed the difference. And I felt at ease. I felt at peace. I felt clear, my mind. Between the eating habits, the Reiki session, all the spiritual guidance I received from my cousin, I actually started feeling better. Although I was diagnosed with cancer, I was feeling better than when I first started this journey. And it was only the beginning. As my chemo started into February, I was still continuing with my eating habits, watching the carb intake and the sugar intakes, exercising, doing the Reikis, all of that. And the one thing I have to mention, my doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to work. I was going to gain weight from the steroids and, of course, lose my hair, which I've done. But gaining weight, I never gained weight. I actually lost 55 pounds. And so the steroids just, I guess from everything I was doing, the medication was just doing the reverse for me. It was not making me gain the weight. I actually worked through my entire chemo. Typically with this type of chemo that I was undergoing for breast cancer, it was a very aggressive chemo. Normally people taking this chemo are usually out for about a week or two. I was up and running in 3 days. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was actually, my work till this day is still, they can't understand how I was able to do this and work through my entire chemo treatment.
So what I'm guessing here is the Reiki sessions, the energy healing, it was really helping you balance it out.
Yes.
So basically chemo is what we are radiating, right? We are sending intense radiations to the body to kill the cells, but it also drains the life force energy out of you. Your Reiki sessions were really helping you rejuvenate.
I do believe that.
Beautiful.
I believe, because like you said, the chemo, and there's a piece in my book, I talk about when I start my chemo sessions, and I'll never forget the taste of that chemo running through my body was like poison. And I could feel that and taste it. And my husband, like, I turned to my husband and said, I have a weird taste in my mouth. It's like a lead poison. This is the poison that's supposed to cure me. But I think a lot of the spiritualness and Reiki sessions, I do believe I have a lot of faith in my God. So the faith and all of that just put together with the eating habits and the exercising was an incredible journey. Although it was terrible to get that news, I transformed that terrible news into something positive. And I'm standing here today to tell you, because I bet the odds of what the doctors told me. I did what they told me I was not going to do. So I believe that mind over matter, the mind is a powerful tool. And if you know how to navigate it, spiritually as well, you can beat any odds. I do believe it.
In fact, so mind is definitely there. What you also talked about is energy. When we are working with the life force energy, And even beyond that, you mentioned God, right? So the source of life, which is within us, if we learn to come in contact with it, amazing transformations are possible. If you are feeling stuck in your life or career, overworked, underpaid, and wondering if you'll ever be able to break free, what if I told you that by aligning with your purpose and being of service to others, you can live a joyful, fulfilling life where you can not only replace your salary addiction, but scale it to making 6-7 figures without the hustle and grind? Sounds impossible, isn't it? That's why we have created a free mini course that will walk you through the strategy and the framework. Claim it now because it's available for a limited time only. Link in the description box below. What was your experience of the Reiki and coming in contact with your own life force and healing through that?
It was, I can't, like, when she would do the sessions on me, it felt like I was in some other body, but a beautiful, very calming atmosphere. The feelings inside were just, although sometimes I would have the emotions, and that for me is what helped me. I needed to show that emotion to actually be able to feel the scaredness. And I was scared. Of course I was scared, but that with that Reiki, it grounded me. And it brought me back to saying, okay, I know you're scared, cry it out. And then you've cried, you're good. You're good, you're at peace. And that's what it did for me. Continuing with that, and just prayers that I would say and my cousin would give me, and just the faith, because there truly is, I do believe, the higher power up there. Because from what I went through, not only did I have breast cancer, I had 2 types of breast cancers. I had a triple positive and a triple negative, which is very rare to get. They were treated the same way, but having 2 different cancers, it was just mind-boggling. On top of that, I had what they called residual disease. And those are like microscopic cells that remain in the body after chemotherapy. So that was another blow, because what do? That was another thing of, oh my God, what's going to happen to me, right? So that was the additional immune therapy I had to go through. I had more therapy. I had a whole entire year of chemo. Then after all of that, I was in the process of reconstruction of my breast, and I get a major infection in my right breast, where if I didn't remove what they call expanders to expand my breast as reconstruction they were doing, I had to take everything out, go flat, and clear the infection, or it could have killed me. Not only could I have died from cancer, I could have died from the infection, which was very strong. After all of that, I was able to start my reconstruction all over again. And then I get hit with the second news that they found more cancer cells in my pectoral muscle, which was very rare, but was treated with radiation. My journey was up and down, but at the end of it, I could say things happened for a reason, because if I didn't have my reconstruction, I would have never known that I would have been diagnosed with a second time of cancer. And I think that was somewhat of a blessing, because if I wouldn't have did what I did in terms of making the decision to go ahead with the reconstruction, I would have never known that these cells would have been somewhere else in my body. So it was a blessing to be able to find that a second time. That's why I say faith is big, and I was very lucky that somebody was watching me up there.
Definitely.
Because I managed not once, but twice. Now I'm on a road of finishing my reconstruction, and I'm at a stage where I'm almost happy, content, and I can say I've found the light at the end of the tunnel. For me to be able to write my story is an inspiration for all the people out there who are going through cancer. I'm not only talking about breast cancer, any cancer. And they think that, oh my God, I'm going to die. Life is not over. I do believe that mind over matter is the key. And of course, faith and having that spiritual inner feeling and hope. Never give up and keep going, because we're going to be thrown all kinds in life, but you got to know how to deal with it and how to work with it. If you're one to say, I'm going to give up, no. I'm here to tell you don't. You got to keep going.
Definitely. So as I'm a yogi, I'm a quantum healer. From a spiritual perspective, when I see people who had cancer, the fundamental reason for cancer to crop up in the body is unresolved emotions, trapped emotions. So initially, when the emotions are trapped, they make you feel bad, right? But if that is not treated, then it permeates into the body and starts causing these diseases and problems in the body. So then as you went through the Reiki session, the reason you were crying was it was released. Those trapped emotions would come to the surface and get released. So not only you're spiritually getting lighter in your experience of life, but when that energetic cause within you is released and resolved, that is exactly what would then prevent cancer from coming back again. And then, of course, whatever manifestation has happened in the body, radiation is fixing that, killing that. But if you had not worked on the energetic side of things, so many people go through chemotherapy, but the cancer comes back. Why? Because the fundamental energetic architecture of our body, if there is a problem in there, then that problem is what manifests into the physical body as a disease. So I'm really happy to hear how this journey brought you further inward and in touch with yourself, with your own higher self, with your own energy, your own consciousness. So I would like to know, how has your life changed from that? How is your life now?
Oh, now I can tell you, I love my family. I love my husband. I love everyone around me. But now when I need to take care of myself, I do it. I need to do what I need to do for me in order to help everybody else. I need to stay healthy and mentally stable to help others. Before, I neglected myself. I don't do that anymore. So I take the time to do my half an hour of exercise. I make my meals to keep myself going. I will take that 45 minutes of when to do my Reiki sessions. I will, whatever it is for myself, okay? I find if you don't love yourself first, you can't love anybody else, and you can't help anybody else. So I found taking care of me, I can take care of a lot of other people because I'm taking care of myself first. As maybe people might think, is that selfish? No, it's not. It's not selfish at all. You're helping yourself and others.
That's a very important point that you mentioned. Because I see in the world, there is a lot of confusion about selfless service or you shouldn't be selfish. The most important thing, as you said, is to make sure that your cup is full. Only when your cup is full and it's overflowing, then you'll be able to help others. If you're running on empty, what good can you do for anybody else? That's an important point.
And that's when you take on so much and you're not doing anything about it, is when you're going to break down, right? And that's maybe, I don't know. I was under a lot of stress before I was diagnosed because of everything that was going on, even with my mom and the dementia. I was pretty much her caregiver. So that took a big toll on my life. And with the children in school, making sure everything was fine with them, keeping them in order, coming home as a mom and doing this and that. And it was just like, there were times I was running out of fuel and I felt it. I didn't know what to do. I was like pulling strings and I just didn't know. So sometimes I think, okay, I was diagnosed, but was this something that had to be to change my life? I don't know. Maybe it was. And sometimes you think, why is this happening to me? Why is this terrible situation? What do I do? Sometimes I do believe you're given situations, and those situations, you have to put them into light and say, okay, I know it's something terrible, but I have to transform it now. I can't let this eat at me. I think I did a pretty good job considering I was told I wouldn't be able to even work. To this day, I still am. I do strongly believe anything is possible, no matter what you are thrown at. Never give up, because it's possible, especially when you can find your inner peace and your inner strength. And that's what I did. I completely transformed something that was terrible into something beautiful.
Do you now feel that this challenge came so that you could find that inner strength, so that you could discover something new about you, which led you to be reborn in a different way?
Yes, I do believe that. I believe this was meant to happen. It had to happen. The more I look back at my journey and what I went through, it's so evident. I can see what transformed. Honestly, it's not my time right now. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to share my story and inspire others and help others maybe see the light, even if they think that there is no light in whatever they have to deal with, whether it's cancer, mental illness, whatever the case may be. I think there's a purpose to what happened to me. There's something I need to share to inspire others to actually look at themselves deep down inside and say, okay, there's things happening in my life, but what can I do to change? How can I transform that? At the end of the day, that's what's important. Transforming it into something beautiful, something that might have been devastating for me, but now I look back and I'm like, my God, I'm completely a different person. And if you would have seen me 2 years ago, you would have thought, this can't be me now. Pictures of me, people look at me, who are you? In a good way, right? Because I lost 55 pounds. You would never even know who I am now. I've transformed completely, physically, internally, every which way you could imagine. I have to say I am proud of myself to where I'm standing today. And I want others to be proud of themselves as well. If they have something that they need to conquer, they'll be able to do it. They just have to have a strong support system. I had that. I had my husband, my children, good friends, cousins, everybody behind me. The support system was very big. And also, I believe it or not, had great doctors. My doctors were phenomenal, and they still are. But I was very blessed to have all of that. Maybe some people don't have that support system that they need. And the support system is a very important thing, because that's what keeps you going and motivates you as well. So I was blessed in that regards as well.
Beautiful.
It's been quite the journey, I can tell you.
I think the most important part was your commitment. Yes, the support system was there, the doctors were there, but if you were not standing with yourself strong, solid, all of this wouldn't matter that much. It was because you were committed. No, I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. I'm gonna overcome this.
Absolutely.
You know what I often say, transformation happens inside out. If you were not willing to transform, this will not happen. Because you wanted the transformation, you committed to the transformation inside out, then things started falling in place.
They did.
Beautiful.
And I seen that throughout. Although I had ups and downs and challenges throughout my journey, but everything ended up working out at the end. You know, and it was like, okay, I this has happened. Oh, like I said, I had an infection, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to die from the cancer. I'm going to die from this infection, because I had it for 5 months, but I overcame it. And this is going to sound odd, but I believe the infection came for a reason, because that infection saved my life when they had to open me up, and my surgeon went in and took some. They had to send some of the scarring that he had found the second time they found the cancer. So it's odd how I got this terrible infection, but the infection actually opened up them finding cancer a second time. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It was like another terrible situation, but it turned out fine at
A
the end.
blessing in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise. Exactly. That's what it was, a blessing in disguise. So with bad, I do believe comes good. All the time. There's always a reason things happen. So I'm standing here today as proof of, yeah, you can beat it. It's possible.
Beautiful. If you are stuck in an unpleasant reality and want to break free, discover your highest spiritual truth, live your purpose, and create generational wealth by helping others, then check out this revolutionary book, Quantum Wealth Code. So what's your focus now going forward?
My focus right now, honestly, so writing this book is the first thing is of thinking, okay, if I'm able to write my story, I can hopefully help others and maybe become a motivational speaker. I don't know, that could help other people, being on a panel of some sort. And I'm thinking now with my book, I would like to go to the different hospitals maybe here in Canada and give them my story and tell them this is my story, and maybe be able to be part of their panel of speak and getting anybody with cancer and helping them along the way as to how they can overcome what I did that can help them. So I want them to read my story and be able to come to me and say, how did you do it? And that's, I think, my goal now. My goal is to help people that are going through maybe their journey of cancer and think, okay, life isn't over. Maybe there is that hope. I would really love to do something like that in terms of being a motivational speaker and helping others through my cancer journey. And also one of the things that I really want to do is give back to the foundation, to the Breast Cancer Foundation. All the proceeds that I do get from my book, that's my goal, is to give back to what was given to me and to help others keep going with the research.
So
Yeah.
would you say you found your purpose?
So when I was approached to write the book, to write the story, I wasn't sure because I doubted myself and said, how am I going to do this? I don't know how to write. I'm 50 years old and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And my cousin Louisa says to me, Maria, you can do this. We need you to write. This is a story that would transform people and you can help in your own way. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? She's absolutely right. I can absolutely write my story. And from that day on, it just, something came over me and I was able to write with no issues. It was something that just came out natural. And I knew I was doing something positive. I knew, okay, there's a sign here. I need to do this. There's a reason why I need to do this. And yeah, from that day on, that was it. I knew this was it. And I said, wherever this takes me now, I'm going to go with it. So it's been an amazing journey. Amazing.
Beautiful. Would you agree that life brought this chapter in your life so that you could rediscover yourself, you could find a different purpose in life, because of which now, today, you are working on helping others overcome this challenge?
Yes. Yeah. My goal now, I think, in life is to help others, because there's so many people out there that are terrified. And I know so many people that have had cancer or breast cancer or different types of cancer, didn't know how to deal with it. We're scared. Might have maybe not taken the right steps to cure themselves because that fear overcame them. So for me, yeah, I think this came for a reason. I'm here to hopefully help. Maybe even if I can help a handful of people, I could say at least I've done something. So I do believe I'm in this for a reason. Absolutely. I do believe that, strongly believe that now.
Beautiful. So this is for my audience. If you want to know more about Maria's story, we are co-authoring a book which is about to be published very soon. It is called Rebirth, where you will see not only Maria's story, not only my story, but so many stories from powerful individuals who were thrown in impossible in their lives. But just like Maria, they did not give up. They committed to coming out of it, turning it around, and now all of that is a blessing that they are spreading and sending in the world, helping others transform their lives by their own experience of life transformation. Maria, it's been an amazing conversation with you. What would you just to somebody who is right now in that dark place where you were when you got the diagnosis, who are maybe today scared, who are today battling the challenges, what would be your message to them?
My message to them is never give up. Keep going and and remember, nothing is impossible if you set your mind to it. Mind over matter is what matters. It was what counts, because there's so much beauty that you find within yourself, even though you've been diagnosed with whatever disease. But when you can find within and bring that out, it will help you and guide you to the new person that you can be. And that's what helped me. So
Beautiful.
never give up.
Awesome.
Ever.
So stepping up into being your highest possible version. That's what we are learning from your story. So Maria, if somebody has to reach out to you, if they are battling a problem like cancer, how can they find you?
Through my Facebook, through Instagram, through TikTok. It's Maria Neves, and you can reach me anytime.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Maria, for sharing such a beautiful journey, such a powerful transformation, and such an inspiring story. Thank you so much for being here. It was an absolute pleasure to talk with you and get to know you, your story.
Thank you so much, Remy. It was a pleasure being on the show with you.
If you want to recover and heal from the impacts of the toxic corporate grind, then please check out our online store for deeply healing and life transformative offerings. If you suffer from sleep problems, a guided Brahmanidra or quantum sleep journey will not only help you get a deeply restorative sleep, it will also enable cellular regeneration and deeply heal you while you sleep. Or if you want to experience the deep peace that lies beyond the constant chatter of the mind and experience the clarity that comes from bringing equanimity to your mind, then the guided Samadhi experience will help you unlock deep peace and tranquility within, regardless of your external circumstances. Check out the Reality Simplified store for more revolutionary and life transformative offerings.